Happy Sabbath to all. I hope you feel well and are not afflicted with the flu that is going around. Last Sabbath I presented on sulforaphane, and there were a couple of questions that I wanted to answer with this presentation, but the people who asked the questions are not here yet, so I hope you still benefit from the answers. So what we want to look at is briefly what I showed to you here. The cruciferous vegetables, cannot make it seen here. You see it there in the top, in the middle. They contain a substance, a class of substances that we call glycosinolates, and part of them is glucoraphane and glucoraphanin. And this is converted as soon as you break up the vegetable into isothionates, and one of the isothionates is sulphoraphane, which has, as you see in the left-hand corner there, cardiometabolic positive effects on cardiometabolic disorders. It has positive effects on the bottom left there, neurologic and psychiatric disorders. That is what I tried to explain last time, that when you flood the brain with sulforaphanes, it will help in functional neurological deficits as well as structural neurological deficits. Structural would be like post-stroke, where a part of the brain has died off, or functional is epilepsy, migraine, or certain other motor disturbances. Musculoskeletal disorders profit because sulforaphane has a high anti-inflammatory action. And then what it is most famous for is cancer. Now, in order to transfer the glucoraphanin into the sulforaphane, you need an enzyme, and this enzyme is called myrosinase. And on the left, you also see the sprouts of broccoli, and as I told you last week and now again, this is the superfood as far as sulforaphane is concerned. It has 30, 50, 100 times more sulforaphane depending with which cruciferous vegetable you compare it. So this is the enzyme that does that changes the glucoraphanin into sulforaphane, which has the cancer-fighting and so forth effects. Now, the thing that you need to know is that the glucosinolates are heat insensitive. That means you can cook the veggies, your cabbages, your broccoli, and so forth. You will still have a certain amount of glucoraphanin, but you will destroy the enzyme. So you cannot, when you cook broccoli, you take it and you chop it up and you put it in boiling water. At the same time, you destroy the myrosinase here. It works slowly, but you see here, the myrosinase is heat sensitive. The product, sulforaphane, is again heat insensitive, but not completely stable. So it will, after a time, it will disintegrate, and it will lose its potency. What I read is that when you ingest broccoli sprouts raw, or broccoli raw, you will have a peak of sulforaphane after about 2 hours, and this ebbs off so that after 4 to 6 hours the effect is gone. If you eat cooked broccoli that has been broken up and you've had sulforaphane production, then you would have a peak about 4 to 6 hours later. So the peaks are in cooked cruciferous vegetables is later. That doesn't really matter, but what I came away with, and that is what I didn't know myself, is that the raw sprouts of broccoli are the highest containing, and if you eat it raw, then you get the most benefit out of it. Now, another thing is, and you do not have to look at the formulas here, the thing I want to point out is that plants have these substances in their cells. So the right circle that you see there, can we have this? Yeah, there. You see the right circle that we have here? These are the glycosinolates, which will translate into sulforaphane, and the left circle is the myrosinase. The plant doesn't keep these substances there for fun, because what happens is when a leaf is broken or eaten or cracked or by an insect, for instance, the sulforaphane acts as an insect repellent because it has a smell to the insects that it doesn't like. And it works as an antimicrobial as well as an antifungal, which is absolutely sensational, I think. So when the plant is injured in moist conditions, you will get fungal growth, and so the plant protects itself from being destroyed. And I thought that was just brilliant from God to have put this into nature. All right, now, having said this, myrosinase is heat sensitive. Let's say you take broccoli, put it immediately into boiling water, you destroy your myrosinase, and you do not get the full effect of the sulforaphane. There is a way to reintroduce myrosinase activity into cooked vegetables. So if you had cooked vegetables, you could take fresh vegetables that still have the myrosinase, and you could start again transforming glycoraphanin into sulforaphane. Do you get that? All right. So the things that you can use is radish, Brussels sprouts, broccoli themselves, cabbage, and then it says in the last line, other pungent cruciferous. And that is mustard, arugula, wasabi, or watercress. Now, if you like mustard, so what you could do is, I do not know whether you can eat broccoli with mustard, but you could maybe put it in a sauce or whatever. You would activate that enzyme again that has been killed by the heat. This whole story reminded me about something that I learned in Africa, and that has to do with giraffes. Giraffes, they love acacia leaves, so they go into the acacia trees and they eat those leaves, but the acacias don't love the giraffes. So when heavily browsed, acacias increase bitter toxic compounds called tannins in their leaves, which taste bad and can be harmful in large amounts. So giraffes stop feeding on that tree. The tree goes bitter, so they wander off to the next tree and they say, maybe this one is a little sweeter. The same thing happens there, and they wander again. So isn't this beautiful? You know, God prevented one tree from being completely destroyed. And on top of this, browsed acacias can release ethylene gas into the air, which signals nearby acacias to boost their own tannin levels. So a giraffe moving downwind finds more better defended trees and has to move on. I like this. This is wonderful. So while the giraffes do not have any cruciferous vegetables, they still have acacia leaves. And I hope this has been sort of helpful to you. Do you have any questions? Is anything, have I created more confusions than answered questions? If you can take away a tip, and I haven't put this into practice myself, but maybe I should. Is anybody sprouting broccoli?
It takes a long time to sprout.
Sorry? Yeah, we can get started, isn't it? And whenever you have an acquaintance or a patient or that suffers from a neurological functional problem, or with increasing age, as I stand here, my brain function slowly declines, it is helpful to eat your broccoli sprouts so that we can stay clear and sharp. Have a happy Sabbath. Thank you.